Hello. Basically, I had a really bad weekend. Nothing dramatic happened, just crippling anxiety, guilt, self-pitying, a roller coaster of emotions. It was just really unenjoyable. Oh, and a horrendous hangover, which is the cause of it all. I'm in a bad headspace, so this video is going to be how I'm going to make myself feel better. Maybe somebody will find comfort in this, and if not, then I'll probably find comfort in it. The first thing I'm going to do is... what is the first thing I'm going to do? I don't know. I just want to go to sleep. That's the only thing. Actually, sleep is such a good one, honestly. I think sleep is the best self-care, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to clean. The first thing I'm going to do is make a list, because if I make a list, then I'm way more likely to get things done, because it's there right in front of me with a little circle ready to be ticked off like this on my notes app. I hope none of this is like weird stuff. Actually, it very much could be, so just yeah, but that's what I like to do. So I'll like make a list for the week. Another thing with lists is it's a great way to actually start doing your day, because I really find it hard to start whatever I'm doing, whereas like a list is like quite an easy task to do. Like I can just sit here and like it doesn't take a lot of mental energy, and I can like do it while I'm speaking with other people or while I'm watching a TV show or something. So it's like a really easy task to make myself do. And then once I've done that, because like I'm like thinking about everything I need to do, and I get in that zone of like wanting to do it, so therefore I'm way more likely to actually start doing it. So making a list is a really good way to like, it's like a good like pathway, like how like weed is like a pathway drug. I feel like a list is like a pathway task to get you from not doing anything to doing the things that you need to do, if that makes sense. List has been made. This is my rough list for today, and I've planned it out with timing and stuff so that it's not completely unrealistic, only like very loosely. I'm gonna have a good lunch to fill me up and make me feel good. I'm gonna have a salad because that's like clean, and I feel like that's what you need when you're hungover, like clean food. I'm not even hungover. It was like 3 days ago, but like I'm still like reaping the consequences, so my body still feels bleh. So eating clean will probably help me. Also, I'm gonna have a glass of water with chia seeds, because that is like an internal flush, and it makes you shitloads.
Play Wild Kingdom.
I love making gorilla sounds.
I'll tell you what color underwear I'm wearing. Had you considering the gorilla sound, didn't I?
Yep.
I'm good. In case you're wondering. I wasn't. Okay, well, I just thought you might be.
Okay, I'm on a walk. Got a little hot chocolate. It's actually freezing cold. I'm just at the local park, and I actually really like this park. It's actually quite hilly, Corringham, which I didn't expect, and I quite like the views that you get. Like they're not fantastic, but they're nice. They're something. But fresh air definitely is one thing that like is probably the easiest thing that makes me feel better, and requires not a lot of mental energy either. Taking a walk, and just I feel like walking just like clears your head, because I'm doing something. It's like I still feel productive, but I'm also can just like think about anything. I can listen to music. If I want to go on the phone to someone, don't know why, but I hate just like sitting on the phone and doing nothing with someone. Like I feel like I need to be doing something. So like walking and speaking with someone on the phone, I really quite enjoy. Or just like looking and sitting and just like being with myself. I actually love my own company so much. I think because I just get so anxious on like how I'm being perceived by people and what I'm saying to other people, which actually does link into like the whole reason that I've had a bad weekend. I guess that's a good time to talk about it. Basically, I've actually been in such a good mood recently. Like, I've just been slaying life, like just waking up on time, going to all of my classes. Oh my god, I've been sleeping so good. Like, a week ago I was anyways, not anymore, and that genuinely made me feel so much better. So, you know, when people say like sleep well, eat right, drink water, you know, I feel like genuinely it actually probably works, because I honestly was getting such good sleep and I was in the best mood. Like, I woke up and I actually felt energized, and that just like sets you off right. Like, when I wake up and I don't want to wake up, I know my day's going to be bad. It's like when you're already tired just from like lack of sleep, then like everything else you have to do is going to be just 10 times harder. It's going to feel like so much more of a drag. Whereas like when I had that just like good foundation of a good sleep, it's like everything else just became so much easier because I just had more energy. Like, everything was going good, and I was super excited to go out because we had our winter ball this Friday, and I was super excited to go out because there was a freshers ball, which I didn't get to go to because I was in Italy with my family, and I got massive FOMO, and everyone looked so good in their like ball gown dresses. I'm like, who doesn't want to dress up, you know? Like, I hadn't gone out in like 3 weeks, and I was super excited to go out. I was really excited to get drunk and just like be silly and like make mistakes, you know? And then I went out and I completely fucked it. I didn't have any dinner, and that was just my own fault. I didn't plan to. I just like lost track of time, and then I didn't have any time, and then and I like was throwing up everywhere, and I just feel like I completely embarrassed myself, and I have no recollection of the night after a certain point. So therefore, I don't even know what I did and didn't do, which is almost worse, because like the things I'm imagining that I did are just limitless. So I feel like I just did the worst things ever, and I just feel so anxious and I feel so guilty. I don't want people to like think certain ways about me and people to perceive me in certain ways that I don't want to be perceived, which is completely out of my control because I can't control people's perceptions of me, but I like to have the most control I possibly can over it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like I just upset people, and I just felt so bad about it, and I just was feeling really guilty, and I genuinely like Saturday was like such a bad day. I just was like crying so much. I was horrendously hungover, so like like physically I was feeling shit. I couldn't eat much, and then but the worst thing of it was just like the anxiety, like the hang-anxiety. I don't know if anyone gets anxiety, but it's horrendous. I just completely regret everything I've ever done, and I overthink every decision that I've ever made, not even on the night, just like generally every bad thing I've ever done, and I just think about it and I just feel so guilty, and I just overthink everything I've ever done ever in my life, ever. That sort of was the beginning of it all, because I felt so guilty and I was just so upset for the thought of how I could have made other people feel. I just couldn't like willingly hurt people, if that makes sense. Like, I genuinely just feel so bad about it. Like, I'll confront people and I'll have arguments and debates with people if I'm in the right. Well, if I think I'm in the right, I guess. But like, if I willingly know something I've done like is wrong and I've upset someone because of my actions, just the guilt that you would feel, I just couldn't, like, that would keep me up at night, genuinely. That's pretty much how I felt the whole weekend. I feel like it sounds like I genuinely like killed someone, that I just like said things to people which I wish I hadn't and stuff. And also Liv, my housemate's like mum, and her mum's best friend and Liv's best friend were all down for the weekend visiting, and they were all out at Put Shack having a lovely evening. And then they get a call from Annabelle, the legend, who literally completely took care of me. She completely looked after me. She was, you know, like helping me throw up, and she put me to bed. And all of Liv's family and friends saw me naked, throwing up on the toilet, which was just a great first impression to make on people that I've never met before. I really love that. I'm quite glad I can't remember that, because I think I would be so fucking embarrassed. I am already incredibly embarrassed, but even more if I could actually like recall maybe like their faces. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. Anyways, I can still smell sick in my bedroom, and it's driving me crazy. I still feel like I'm like secreting alcohol. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but do you know how like I feel like the next day, like even if you shower and stuff, like you're still like groggy, and I still feel like alcohol is like sweating out of me, if that makes sense. So I still feel like I can just smell it on me. That's just a rundown of what happened, because I just wanted to give some context, because like that's the reason that I'm doing this video. With like filming and stuff, I have felt a bit hesitant and like attentive. Is that the right word? Attentive, yeah, I think so. To start like recording and editing again, because obviously like I've met loads of new people this year because I'm in a new group, and obviously I'm worried about what they're gonna think. But now that I know them and I love them, like I'm not bothered anymore. But obviously there's that just like hesitation when you first meet new people on like, you know, you just don't know them, and I don't know how they're gonna react to me and stuff. I was so attentive to like get back into it, and I was like always like thinking of being like, oh, I'm gonna do this video and this video, but then it just like never went wrong, and I was like, oh, like, you know, I don't know what to do now, because I've like sort of gotten out of my flow of it. I don't know how to get back into it, like what's a good way to get back into it, you know, like what's a good video. But then I was like I just need to do it, like I just need to film again, I just need to upload again, because at least I'll be moving forward then. Like something is better than nothing. It's better just to show up and like do something, even if it's not good, than just to not show up and not do anything, because at least you're moving forward. If you're just like worried about something and like you're just holding yourself back from doing something that you've wanted to do, just do it, because like you're only gonna learn from doing something. So like I'm only gonna, like, if this video is just unenjoyable, like I'm only gonna then learn, and then my next one will be better. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna learn something without actually just doing it. Like that's the best way to learn something. Just do it, fail at it, get better at it. So I've just been really hesitant to post, because I'm like, oh, I don't know what to post, like I don't know how to get back into it, but I'm just gonna post. And like this feels genuine to like talk about this and do this, because this is how I'm genuinely feeling right now, and that's what makes me feel good, and that's why I do enjoy doing it. So that's, yeah. But I do feel so much better already just from taking this walk, and probably more just like talking to the camera. Okay, I'm just talking to myself, but I find that shit so therapeutic, and maybe somebody else will find comfort in it, and the thought of that makes me so happy. Like the fact that like somebody could like see something or hear something you say and like resonate with it, like isn't that just so like just assuming that I'm having a positive impact on people. People might be watching this being like, you're fucking boring, but you know what, I don't care. Actually, I massively care what people think of me, and that's something I really need to work on. Like I genuinely didn't think I cared what people think, but I care so much. I am 1000% a people pleaser, and I hate that, but it's really hard not to be, because I'm like just so stressed on how people are going to perceive me, and I don't want people to perceive me in a bad way or a negative way, but like it doesn't even matter, because I can't even control it. Also, a great quote, not a quote, but just like a good thing to think about is what you think other people think of you is actually just what you think. Wow. So let me just explain that a little bit better. Also, Annabelle said that I had a cute nose the other day, and I actually think I do. Like, I can't stop staring at it now. I'm going to give you a last bit of inspirational insight into what people think of you and how you genuinely cannot control it. For example, let's take Martha, my best friend from home. Like, what I think she thinks of me is just what I think. It's not actually what she thinks of me. First of all, I can't even control what she thinks of me. But, like, let's say I really tried hard to, like, obsess over how she thought of me, yeah? It's like, I don't actually know what she thinks of me unless she outright said it honestly and truthfully to me, which A, would be very unlikely. What people think of me is just what I think they think of me. It's not actually what they think of me. Martha could think that I'm like really boring, but I might think that she thinks I'm funny, but she might not actually think that. Like, I might just have taken signs and taken them in the wrong way, and then I might think like, oh, Martha thinks I'm funny, but she actually thinks I'm boring. But it's just because I think she thinks I'm funny that then I think that people perceive me as funny, but she actually might think I'm fucking boring. You see? For example, just then, like, someone from Performers walked past, and like they definitely saw that I was filming myself like just on my own on a bench. I'd like to think that he would maybe recognize me, like just my face, so he's probably thinking, why isn't girl recording herself? Like, that's really fucking weird. But that's just what I think he thinks. He actually might be thinking like, oh my god, she's a YouTuber, yeah. But I will never know. So I'm gonna like then deal with the consequences of thinking that he thinks I'm a weirdo when he actually might think I'm great. Or he might have looked at me and think, oh, I love her scarf. You know, it might be a positive thing that he thinks about me, but because I won't know that and I just assume what other people think of me, I'm then going to be in a bad mood because of something that potentially didn't even happen. A little food for thought. I already feel like my personality is coming back. I'm actually in a way better mood just from talking to myself. Moral of the story is no one cares what you do. Literally no one cares. Like, everyone is obsessing over themselves. On another note, this is the little park which I've been sitting at. I was at that bench over there and I really like it because it's like downhill, and I like it when I get to this middle section because there's like trees. Next thing I'm going to do is my food shop. I've got 2 more weeks at home, here, before I go home. I'm going to try and meal plan and plan every meal so that I don't overbuy. I'm going to try and keep it under £50, that is my goal, which that might seem very much achievable, but usually I'll spend like £80 on like a 2-week shopping thing. So, let's see. I only spent £51 and 20p. I low-key just smashed that. I'm having a roast for MT this Friday. We need to know 2 songs for audition prep, which I don't know. And one of them is Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. So I'm gonna listen to it while I make dinner.
She said I wasn't over Lisa.
It was my typical month. First week diarrhea. The next 3 weeks, I can't shit at all.
You must have seen her, right?
I'm gonna get ready for bed now. This is like my wind down routine. I actually never do this, but I'm gonna start doing it. So after I've showered, I aim to do this like 2 hours before bed, because you're not meant to go on your phone or like technology like 2 hours before you go to sleep, because it's really bad for your eyes. So yeah, like after I've had my dinner and everything else, I'll shower and then I'll begin this routine. But I will be watching some Afterlife while I do it. But eventually I'll do it with just some Zen music. But right now I'm in the middle of watching Afterlife and I kind of would like to continue.
No, you won't. Get out.
Fuck me.
I thought you were having a piss.
No, I've got to go out after, so I thought I'd walk.
Out. Do you know how fucking mental it is, a postman having a bath on his round?
Hi, this is Tony. He's not done this before.
No, I don't know. Where's my mind?
It's in every cell of your body.
Okay, I'm gonna journal. I also don't enjoy journaling very much, but apparently it's good for you. So I always feel a bit like lost when it comes to journaling. I never like know exactly what to write about, and it almost feels like slightly overwhelming because I'm like, there is literally endless things I could possibly write about. How do I only pick one? So I just watched this video on YouTube by Raimi Rees, and it's her like how she journals, and she has like 3 different journals, which is kind of cool. One for manifesting, one for like reflecting, and then one for shadow work. The one that I just want to focus on right now is just like purely just reflecting. So a few of the questions that she prompts when she does her reflection journal is, what gave me energy, what drained my energy, any key things that you've noticed over, like she does it over a week, habits to let go of, and what are some things that you're proud of yourself for, intentions for the next week or the next day, and then lastly just a brain dump, which just sounds so satisfying, I think, slash things to let go of. So anything I just don't want in my brain, I'm just gonna put it on here, because sometimes I feel like you have so many thoughts in your head and it's really hard to just like ignore them because they are just floating around there. So the idea of just like writing it out is quite comforting, because it's like, it's almost like they're still here. So if I did want to come back to them again and like uncover them and think about them and analyze them, whatever, then I could do, because they're right here with me. It's just like I don't have to think about them all the time. I'm gonna have a go at this reflection. That was thoroughly enjoyable. It didn't take too long. I didn't have to like massively in-depth analyze my thoughts. 2 things that I want to talk about from that is, the first one is that don't let other people's baggage affect you. Sometimes I think I'm like an empath. I just feel like I feel other people's emotions really strongly, and I'm affected by the mood around me, which I do like being that. I like being like very like intuitive to my surroundings and my environment, but then also it can affect you in a negative way, because if I'm on a really good like vibration, let's say, and somebody else isn't, and then I'm having a conversation or an interaction with them, then like, because I feel like I can feel what they're feeling, I feel like I sort of like get dragged down to their state, if that makes sense. I'll be thinking about conversations that I've had today, and I think about, oh, like the way they reacted to what I said made me feel a certain type of way, because, and it probably was because they reacted in like a negative way, like I perceived it as they were reacting in a negative way, which then affected my mood and sort of like made me doubt myself and the way I was feeling. And sometimes I feel like you need to remember that other people, like the way other people react is because of like things that they're going through. It has nothing to do with like you or your situation probably. And so like you shouldn't let their baggage like bring you down. Like don't take on other people's baggage, like not all of it. The second thing I'm going to say is actually, I'm going to come back to it at the very end because it kind of sums up the video and brings it all together. But first I'm going to do a bit of manifesting. I finished my manifestation section. So the way the woman did it on the video was that she had a gratitude section, which she started with, where she just states anything that she's grateful for in that moment. So anything that's like intuitive in that moment. And then she has a release section and just anything she wants to let go of. So she just writes all of that down. And then she has her manifestations and her affirmations, and she just writes it in present tense. The last thing I'm going to do before I go to bed is just put on a sleeping meditation. Meditations are so great in terms of like slowing your mind and really just like feeling in touch with your body and stuff, which is, it's so easy for us to like feel out of touch with our body because there's so many like distractions like like social media and technology and work and like just like everything, speaking to other people, like everything is just such like an out of body experience, whereas it's important to like feel in touch with your body and stuff. Before I close this video off, I just want to say lastly that I do feel so much better. I just feel a lot like more grounded and a lot more present, and like my mind is quieter. And partly it could have just been because like it has been a few days now, but I do think it's because of all the things that I did today to actively try and make myself feel better. But probably like the core reason that I do feel better is because I wanted to. Like my mindset was to feel better today, and everything that I did had like a positive outlook on it. This morning I had such like a negative outlook, and so everything I was doing was just so unenjoyable. And then once I decided and I made that decision to consciously and actively have a more positive outlook on what I was doing, everything became so much more enjoyable. The phrase like be kind to yourself and forgive yourself is just so true. And the phrase love yourself doesn't just mean love yourself when you look your best or when you're slaying life. It means like literally love yourself like you would love somebody else. If they were having a bad day, you would comfort them, you would reassure them, you would tell them that it's all okay. And you need to do that. You need to love yourself even when you make a mistake. You need to love yourself even when everything in your life is going wrong, even when you don't wake up on time and you miss your alarm, even when you were mean to someone and you regret it. Obviously you have to be like assertive with yourself and don't just let yourself off the hook for things, but just forgive yourself, like be kind to yourself, because like at the end of the day you do only have you. The way I think about myself is like the only really thing, like the only true thing that I believe. The way I feel and like my thoughts is like the really only thing I can believe, because it's mine. I don't know what other people's intention are. I can't read their minds. I was just so emotional during the weekend, and I was just laying on a couch and I just needed like somebody else to like just embrace me and tell me that it was okay. Like that's just the thing that I was craving so badly. And then I thought, like, why do I need that? Like, why do I need somebody else to tell me that it's okay? Like I can tell myself that, you know, like in bed at night, like I just like stroke my arms sometimes, or I like lay on my side and I cuddle a pillow and I just like reassure myself and I say that it's okay, like everything is fine, like you did your best with what you had at the time and that's okay. That's what I want to end on, because I think that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned over the weekend. I just felt so many like different emotions, so many negative emotions. The reason that I was in such a bad headspace is because I just like shat on myself. I was like, why did you do that? Like you're such a bad person. And then it spiraled and I just made myself feel worse and worse and worse and worse. And it was only when I was really in the company of others and they were making me feel better by like sort of like taking me out of my own head and saying, it's really not that bad what you did, like genuinely it's okay. And sometimes you 1000% need that. You need that like outer perspective of somebody else, because sometimes you can definitely get wrapped up in your own thoughts. Our brain, like everything is just like a machine, everything is just a system, and it all runs on like the way we speak to ourselves. Anything that you felt, like even if it was the most intrusive and inappropriate thought ever, like it's okay. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making this video, and I think I talked some sense, and I think I have learnt from this negative weekend. Perhaps I'm being slightly overdramatic. I am a very sensitive and emotional person. If you did watch to the end, thank you so much. Like, much appreciated. I hope you have the best day ever, and I hope it's filled with loads of genuine happiness and you feel connected to the world around you, and most importantly yourself. My pee stinks.